Hey, welcome to the game Banished. Again, this is my second video on Banished. I made the first one for Oyster Boy because he is who started me playing Banished, and I haven't had a lot of time to put into the game. I think that was clear in my last video, but in this video, I'm making another go of it and using what I learned to try to make a more successful village and see if I can keep the amount of mayhem and dying a little bit low. So I'm actually going to hide myself here so that we can focus on the game. And right now we are focused in on Brienne the fisherman, following this citizen walking back and forth, delivering fish. Although this is a little bit strange because it looks like Brienne is carrying fish back to the dock, or perhaps this is resources that the fishermen use. I'm not entirely sure, but in any case, you can see here we have a nice fishing dock. Just as with my last village, I started out being really reliant on fishing, and my new village is also reliant on some fishing here because it's a really great way to get food early on in the game. At least that's my experience so far. Anyway, let me tell you a little bit about my village. So we'll stop following Brienne, and I'll show you where this village began. This village began with this storage barn and a stockpile right here. And immediately upon seeing that where this was placed, I realized I was really limited in how I could expand this particular village in this area. So I knew that immediately that I was going to need to strike out. However, I built two houses nearby the storage barn for convenience, so that I would be able to grow my population a little bit, and so they'd have access to the storage barns. And I started giving them a means to grow food with this was my first crop field, and this crop field is growing cabbage. I have two cabbage fields right now and two pumpkin fields. Population is still fairly low, less than so we've got 28 people. Well, we've got 30 people. 2 of them are children. So I built this fishing pier, or fishing dock, in order to get some fish, and basically I was off. So following the advice, or what I've seen other people do basically in this game, I established a place where I could build a community with a little bit more room to move around. And I did that over here. I found that I was kind of surrounded by water and mountains. A lot of water, a lot of mountains. So I just created a road going off to the east along the shore, and a bridge to an area over here where I could place a market. And by this time, I started to understand what the heck a market was and how it could help a community grow and share, get to resources much quicker. So I started to build my community around where I was going to, well, I planned to build a community around where the market was going to go, instead of overbuilding, which was clearly a huge problem I had in the previous, in my previous attempts at this game. I did not overbuild right away. I made a space for the market, and then I just planned to start eventually moving operations over here. The name of my village is Croatoan, a reference to the disaster at Roanoke, because I thought it was appropriate. However, so far it is not appropriate because this village is doing okay, relatively speaking. Alright, so as I said, I started here. I built got a couple of fields going. Not the neatest or most organized fields, but they're working. They're generating food, so that's great. My food reserves are 6,598. I've got plenty of food right now for the amount of people that I have right now, at least. And that's because I also established a hunting cabin and a gatherer's hut out here. They've got plenty of improved area, let's say, in order to do their hunting and gathering. Although there may not be... Okay, see, there's still animals here, so we haven't overhunted this area, and that's partly, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, because I only have a couple of hunters in this area. I haven't filled it up with hunters. So I'm trying to keep... What I understand is if you have 3 hunters, maybe this area will be overhunted. Anyway, you can see plenty of wildlife here still to be hunted. So this is a rich source of hunting and gathering. I did not put my herbalist there. Instead, decided to put my herbalist eventually, that I realized that you eventually would need an herbalist. So I decided to put my herbalist over here. And it's based on the idea that herbalists only really need old growth trees to get their herbs. I don't know how many they need. However, I decided that I would put my orchards within this area, although this hill is a little bit of a problem. But if I put my orchards in here, I could have orchards close to the marketplace, the market, and close to where people were living, and the herbalist could also be close there. We'll see if that works. I don't know. Right now, it's producing. Right now, there are plenty of herbs. Let's see, what do we got for herbs? Herbs. 92. So we're up at capacity, pretty much. The herb limit is 100. Still have an herbalist working. Maybe I could just bump up the herb limit. I assume that herbalist will start to add to this, and I'm not exactly sure what changing these limits does. I guess it keeps people from switching to other jobs when they get to the limit. If you increase the limit, they stay working to create herbs instead of switching to other jobs. I don't know how efficiently they actually switch out to other jobs, so that's another thing I'm not sure about, how much of a difference it makes. Anyway, this is kind of an experiment regarding whether an herbalist can be continue to be productive with as I start to remove these trees or replace them with say orchards at some point. Right now it's a peach orchard, and I guess it's doing okay. So as you can see, I've built some houses around here. I don't have a maybe the greatest layout yet. I'm gonna improve this a little bit as I can, so that I wouldn't run out of tools and clothing. I have a blacksmith and a tailor near the market. Right now I don't have anybody working for the blacksmith. The tailor, I believe there's one tailor. Yeah, I'm still making clothes because clothes were a little lower. I switch them on and off depending on what I need. I've also got a fishing dock up here, so I've got more fishermen. The fish are really seem to be a great source of food, and I'm just starting to maintain a forester area out here with a second hunting cabin. They're somewhat overlapping areas, but I don't think they will interfere with each other too much. I think the next thing I'm going to do is actually build a well, because I'm worried about fire. Fire was a problem before. I don't know how the well placement works. I'm not sure how to best place the well, and I haven't really looked into it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it closer to all these. Right now I'm going to put it closer to all these houses. Yeah, so that will be a well now. Right now I don't have any builders, so I'll bump up a couple of builders. Plenty of farmers. As you can see, they're probably starting to plant over here. See that my problem right now is population. Need a little bit more population for this little place that I'm in. And let's see, the houses are not overpopulated, but I guess I need more empty houses so I can have couples to to create, let's bump down the blacksmith too and get another builder. Yeah, I need places for families, for new families to be growing here. Okay, I'm gonna put this house really close to this one, and I'm gonna actually put another house right next to it. So we get a couple more houses, and maybe encourage some more people. We seem to have plenty of food, so I think we can accommodate those people. That's my village. The market with the new center where I'm going to start building things, more things, including this well, which I think, yeah, is not quite done yet, but it's getting there. And then some more houses, so they get more families. My little area for fishing and farming, which is at its capacity, pretty much. Well, I guess I may be able to get a little bit more room in there. I'm going to leave these houses because they're convenient for these fishermen. And maybe the hunters, I don't know who's there right now. Yeah, fishermen and a gatherer and 2 hunters. Okay, so yeah, the people who are close to their jobs are living there. Time to make some decisions about how to expand or what to build next. And if you have any suggestions about that and thoughts about what I ought to build next and where I ought to go, leave a comment. That's it. Thanks for watching.